Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm OG Doug 36.
And I'm the one who will soon rise up, Ken.
Ho ho ho, we are the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, you have to tell me, how are you doing?
I'm horrible. Thank you for asking, Randy, because my old ass has to go to Target every freaking day and look for this lowest born SH Figure Arts exclusive to Target figure that is never there. And I'm sick of it. I don't want to go to Target anymore. I don't want to be hovering over the kid toy aisle for 10 minutes because I'm like, did I miss it? Did someone move it over here? Like I'm just walking back and forth, and the same employee, it's just like seeing me from a distance, like just walking back and forth in the same aisle. And yeah, so luckily Ken found one at his Target, so I'm covered there. And luckily another friend found another one for me there. So yeah, I've got two. I don't want to be too greedy, but I'm so sick and tired of going to Target for this thing. So I'm glad I don't have to anymore.
So, dear listener, please remember that Doug requires two of each Figure Arts. One to keep in box and one to display.
I don't even know what I need two for. I just know someday future Doug will like be thankful, like, oh, I'm glad I have a second one in case I want to display this in this way and this in another scene kind of thing. So yeah, we're one step closer to my master display. Like, yeah, sure, I moved to a new place with a little more space, but I don't think it's gonna be enough space for my big vision. So keep watching, keep listening.
Your big vision. I'm interested to see. What does that mean?
The world may never know.
It's going to be a mystery. Ken, how are you doing?
Good. I watched season 1 of Andor, finally. Really freaking good. I don't know why I was waiting so long.
Yeah, that's also a mystery to me, because it's so good.
Wait, good Star Wars in 2025?
I know, right? In current year, good Star Wars. There is not a single Jedi in this show, and that's how you know it's good.
Ooh.
Because it could exist without being in the Star Wars universe. It just happens to be in the Star Wars universe.
No Skywalkers?
Nothing.
No people claiming to be Skywalkers?
Palpatine is referenced like 2 or 3 times. And
Mon Mothma's there, though.
Yeah, so. Dude, Mon Mothma, hell yeah. We'll talk about her later. But really good show. I'm going to actually start season 2 after we finish this recording.
Nice.
And get in on that. So, yeah. Randy, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I haven't started Andor season 2. I don't know. I'm just kind of sort of waiting it out. Plus, like, they do 3 episodes a week, which is just like, you want me to watch a whole dang movie for this?
So, do you know what happened with this season?
I mean, I assume, like the previous one, like, it's 3 episode arcs. So they're just like, here's each little bit that kind of...
So, what happened is that the original vision for Andor was going to be like 5 seasons, each season being a year leading up to Rogue One. They started shooting in COVID, so that was already messy. And then all the strikes happened, and then Diego Luna keeps getting older. And so after a certain point, they called it and said, we're going to do 2 seasons, but season 2... every 3 episodes we'll release it once, will basically function as a movie, and each one of those is like a few days in 1 year leading up to. So season 2 is actually going to run through 4 years leading up to Rogue One.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm interested because I loved season 1, and I'm excited to see where things go. I mean, obviously, because Rogue One exists, we know where it goes and all of that, but, you know, it's still fun. And to be fair, there is other good Star Wars, but it was in like 2024. Skeleton Crew was very good.
Never heard of it. Sounds like a ride.
Doesn't it? But it's like, what if E.T., but Star Wars? So just or Stranger Things, but Star Wars.
E.T. was in Star Wars.
That's true.
Oh, trivia.
Wasn't he on like the Jedi Council in episode 1 or something?
Something like that. It's just trivia I told my mom to impress her. She's like, good, Doug. Yeah, sure.
That's great.
Bien, mijo. Good. Good for you.
Well, for me, I finished season 1 of Digimon because I picked up those Discotheque seasons when those were coming out.
What a coincidence, because I started watching Digimon. I wanted something to watch on TV, and so thanks to Randy's Plex, he has Digimon on there. I put on the first movie, and I'm like, I don't need to watch this for the millionth time. Let me see the new, like when they're older, the Digimon Adventure. And yeah, that was a little disappointing, but it was still a fun time. Especially, I'm glad all the dub voice actors came back for that. That was at least there's that charm.
Oh, those the three new dubs for the original 3 movies.
Yeah. No. I watched Digimon Adventure when they're older.
You mean you watched Digimon Try?
It's called Digimon Adventures. It's like a movie.
Because Digimon Adventure is season 1 of the TV show. Then there's movies called Digimon Adventure Try, which is things that happen.
I watched a movie. It didn't say try on it. It's an adventure. The credits were like, it had a whole paragraph and then it faded out except for the words Digimon and Adventure.
Did you watch Kizuna?
Excuse me? Did you call me? No, whatever. It's Digimon.
We'll figure it out. I can just check in Plex to see what did Doug watch.
I was going to say, I assume you already knew what I was watching.
No, I don't watch like a hawk that much, although I should, I guess. So that way I'm just ready. But no, I watched that. That was good. The last episode is strange because just from like editing wise and things, like they wanted this episode to be like kind of bittersweet and like a farewell thing, but also like all of the jokes and like the weird edits they made were just like, don't take this seriously. But also at the end, please cry. I'm like, no, because you didn't set this up properly. It's so weird. But I guess, I don't know, at that time, did they already know? Like, yeah, season 2 is right around the corner, so it doesn't matter. Don't be sad. There's going to be more stuff coming. Shut up.
The only time I ever cried at or the first time I cried at media was at the end of Digimon season 2.
What was that?
That's where they all like grow up and Tai and Agumon become senators or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It was weird.
Senator Agumon.
It's a movie where as the kids get older, they have to say bye to their Digimon.
That's Evolution Kizuna.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's I watched Kizuna.
The Toy Story 3 of Digimon, and yeah, I too cried, Ken, every single time.
Yeah, I cried like a baby at that movie.
Beautiful.
But, you know, if you know how the series ends up, they're going to come back. Because
I was going to say,
Agumon's got a senator career ahead of him.
I think they just said, no, that's not canon. Forget about that. Forget about it. It's not good. But besides that, I finished that one video game, South of Midnight. It's really good. Check it out. It's nice and short. And then I started Blueprints, and that's a workout for your brain because it's just puzzles. Just puzzles. And really, you know, exercising your mind. So if you're interested in that, check that out. But I don't want to talk about that anymore. I want to talk about some breakfast foods, specifically granola and things like that. That's right.
Delicious.
We're finally getting into it. Yeah. We're clear of all that Daima stuff. We can get back to what really matters.
Trick me into doing this? I don't think we ever had a discussion where like, Doug, do you want to? It's just like, hey, Doug, next month, granola is happening. I was like, what? What's that?
You never said no.
I know. I never said small me. I never said no. But still,
that's how we
it's going to happen so naturally. It's just like, Doug, mark your calendar.
Well, you've been doing homework for other things for our Tenchi episodes, which listeners and watchers, if you're not catching up on that,
doing homework better here than I've ever done in school. Just so you guys know.
I'm going to agree on my end as well. Other than this time, I didn't take notes, but it is what it is. So, like I said, we're back doing the Dragon Ball Super manga review, and we're doing Granolah the Survivor arc. So this is going to be part 1. If you don't know what Dragon Ball Super is, go listen to a different show. What are you doing here? But
Randy's always disappointed with the viewers. Like, if you don't know what Daima is, what? Get out of your ass.
Look, when it's the beginning.
I don't
want
to get Randy angry again. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm sorry.
Oh, here we go again.
So what are we here to talk about?
We're here to talk about this manga. As a monthly manga began production in 2015, going alongside the TV series Dragon Ball Super. And it's being done by Toyotaro, or Toyble, if you want to go by his Dragon Ball AF pseudonym. And Toriyama continued after the Super anime came to a close. So after we had the Tournament of Power, and we had the Broly movie, we had the Moro arc, which was a lot of fun, which we covered just a few months ago. And that just steamrolls right in here to Granolah the Survivor. And if you don't remember what happened last time, I think Ken has you covered.
Last time on Dragon Ball Super, Earth once again faced imminent peril, this time at the hands of the planet eater Moro. By pushing themselves to new heights, Goku with his honed Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta with his forced Spirit Fission, the two Saiyans are able to subdue the Galactic Glutton. Once again, Earth enjoys a period of peace, but in the far reaches of the universe, word of Frieza's recent resurrection is beginning to have repercussions.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm always really impressed with Ken's reading for those. He's got such a deep, boomy voice that I just got to pay attention to. Edge of my seat.
When he summons it, it's like, whoa, sit back, kids. You're in for a treat.
Now, Doug, was that enough of a recap for you? Does that help you remember what happened?
I guess one quick, what is Vegeta's fissure attack thing that he learned? I'm like, oh yeah, Vegeta did learn something special for this, but it wasn't instantaneous movement.
Let me tell you, Doug, you don't need to worry about it.
Okay, thank God. But what was it? Just for my curiosity. Was it like a container beam or something?
Reverse Spirit Bomb. Reverse Genki Dama.
Where he sucks the energy out of...
He could break the energy apart.
Yeah. So every time he punched Moro, he would release the energy that he had absorbed.
That's an enemy-specific move then that we don't have to worry about, at least for now. Toyotaro might bring it out of his ass later for something else.
Well, I mean, in theory, it could work against all sorts of enemies. We just never see him have to use it, really. Plus, Dragon Ball is a series with so many characters absorbing other characters that...
Yeah.
You never know. That's something good to have in your back pocket in this universe.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll come, if it ever comes back, it'll come back like, oh, how's Vegeta doing so well against this enemy? And it's like, remember he has that move? Like, and you see, he didn't have to like call it out, but he's like doing it just as he's fighting.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He makes them weaker rather than himself stronger.
Well, that's a different arc and not the one that we're talking about today.
Exactly. Yes. But it was good to have a little refresher.
Reel us back, Ken.
Yeah.
So again, we're starting fresh here with the Granolah the Survivor arc, which picks up literally right in the same chapter that the Moro one ends, because it's kind of split there, where we've got a little bit of Moro and then a little bit of Granolah. So we've got kind of chapter and a half. We're going to say 2 chapters just to make it easy. So big picture temperature check, guys. How did you feel about these 2 chapters? Doug, it was your first time. What are you thinking about these?
You know, I want to say I learned my lesson with like being excited when Daima started, like just how good the beginning felt. And you know, I want to say how excited I am about this, so I will. This is really freaking awesome. Like just these first 2 chapters was very fun, and like just felt like we're back, baby. Like this is how storytelling should be, especially after reading or watching Daima. Like it's like just even mundane conversations with like the prisoners just felt so right. Like just natural how people spoke and just get to story beat to story beat to story beat. I'm excited to see more, to read more.
That's good. That's how we want you to come into these things, of just like, yeah, man, keep it coming. Keep giving me homework. I like it.
It felt right.
Now, Ken, I know that you've been really excited to get to this Granolah stuff. How did you feel coming back to actually read these chapters?
This is my 3rd or 4th time reading Granolah. I really don't remember. I mean, when you think, it's probably somewhere around that. Definitely at least 3rd. I think I wanted to do just a chapter and a half to kind of ease us back into this story, ease myself back into editing these things, because the manga ones always take the longest to edit for me. And I think it worked out perfectly. I think this chapter and a half is like the perfect setup for what's coming. I agree with Doug. I do think it's exciting. It's really putting all the pieces in place. It's showing you angles about stuff in the world in a new way through new eyes. And all of that is really charming and enticing. I feel like we're learning a lot about Ultra Instinct in different ways and where it can go. And Vegeta and Beerus are up to something over here. There's so much moving forward. This was a troubled arc as it went. And
oh no,
it was not, I think Moro stood on its own month to month. Granolah significantly less so. I have not listened to the Kanzenshuu review that we did, that Mike, Ian, Cypher, and I did, where we reviewed the whole thing. I don't know, that was like 2 years ago. What is time anymore?
Yeah.
Right.
I purposefully not gone back and re-listened to that.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure I walked away pretty positive from that experience. I feel like it's going to be even better here. Due in part to the pace that we're going to go. We're going to go 1 volume at a time. And then also, I really love our rich discussions that we have here on this podcast about it and experiencing things with Doug for his first time, not having to necessarily suffer through the monthly release of what's going to happen here. And then
there's
also
pros and cons to that I'll get into, but yeah.
Yeah, there was also like a lot of news coming out at the time. Doug, there's a period of time like halfway through this arc where in an interview in V-Jump or something, they said, and the arc is nearing its climax, making everyone think like it was about to be over. And then it went on for another like a year and a half or something.
For real?
It was crazy.
No.
I don't know what was going on there. But you won't have to experience any of that.
Thank
so
God.
I'm really looking forward to that. And I think this was a perfect salvo for that. Randy, what did you think?
Question real quick. Are these 2 chapters, they end volume whatever they're after the Moro arc? Or
yeah, this ends volume 15.
Great cliffhanger, kind of like 2 chapters then. That's great.
Yeah, super good way to do it. As for me, I read this only once, and it was the month-to-month situation, and I had enjoyment, and then there were points where I was getting kind of frustrated at where things were going. There's a flashback thing, and I'm so glad that we'll be able to just zip through that in one go. Yeah, but, it might be a much better experience doing this volume by volume rather than chapter by chapter, one a month. So I'm excited to see how everything unfolds for the pacing. But Doug, I'm kind of in your same boat there where it feels like, hey, this is how the stories are supposed to be told, where we have plot beats that lead to things and characters talking like they should. I mean, what was it? Yuko Kakihara, pretty good at, the character interactions, but the story, not super great at it. So something like this coming from Toyotaro, I'm excited to experience again with fresh eyes. And I'm excited for where it's going to go. And like Doug said, this is a really great sort of appetizer, a little teaser for where things are going to go. If you finished out that Moro volume and you're like, all right, what's next? Oh, what's this? I mean, we've got a whole new character, a whole new cast of characters. And Goku and Vegeta show up later, but this is mostly all about Granolah, which is really fun. We've got a new person. It's like, is he the good guy? Is he the bad guy? Because most arcs are named after the bad guy.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have like, I think, is it officially just called like the Future Trunks arc for the Dragon Ball Super anime? Where
so stupid.
It's like, no, it's Zamasu or Goku Black, I suppose, because he gets introduced pretty soon, and it's that whole mystery. So, you're kind of on your toes of like, what's going to happen? Who is this dude? Let's find out, and let's just jump into it then. We've got chapter 67 here, which was called the grand finale, and then ... And we already did the grand finale. That was the Moro stuff. So we're doing the and then part this time.
Yeah. So as we get into this, I do want to note real quick about the production of this, Doug. Anytime that there has been a Dragon Ball Super arc, they've always referred to the Genon, or original draft from Toriyama. That kind of phrasing was deliberately, but it was significant that it was absent from any kind of talk about the Moro arc, leading one to believe that that was more of a Toyotaro-driven storyline. But Genon is back for Granolah and attributed to Toriyama again.
No way.
Yeah, meaning that, well, I mean, it's not like Toriyama didn't sit there with a pen and paper and write out the whole Tournament of Power, right?
Right, but it just means a little more involvement by Toriyama. Who knows what level, but right, Daima.
Correct. Well, I mean, yes, maybe knowing what kind of story discussions were had between Toriyama and Toyotaro.
At least like a stamp of approval by Toriyama. Like, does that have to go like approved through him, kind of thing? If he's more involved, or
I think
the Genon.
So, dude, I don't want to spend this whole hour and a half talking about Daima, but Daima was something that happened, and then Toriyama came along after the production on it had already started, whereas he would have been ground level for this arc.
Right.
So this is more of, in my eyes, and this is subjectively, but also objectively, more of Toriyama's baby than Daima was.
Great.
That's just where I'm coming from in this story. So if you have any problems, Doug, you're going to have the problems with Toriyama, so watch what you say.
Okay. Oh, no.
Now let's get into it.
If this is more Ken's way of protecting his baby, the Moro arc of just like, see, that was Toyotaro. That was good. You have to blame Toriyama for this if there's a problem.
I will say that there is stuff in this that feels Toriyama, and then there's stuff that's not, that doesn't.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's Toyotaro who has the hand on the wheel. So it's like we should still look at it as his piece of work.
Oh, I mean, the final product is all his. And there are some Toriyama, there are some characters in this arc designed by Toriyama. You have not met any of them yet. They will be coming next volume. But for now, everyone's designed by Toyotaro with several passes. The Hidas specifically, Toriyama denied them several times from Toyotaro.
He's like, they're not BoJack enough. Like, what?
I guess, yeah. Have you not seen movie 9?
I was wondering what the note says. Make them more Bojacked. Like more
Bojacked.
More muscles?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys noticed this, and you almost assuredly didn't, but in the version of the full color, so what we're reading, again, is we are reading this in full color because I want Doug to experience this in the absolute best way. And I believe that the full color helps Toyotaro out in a way that it would have detracted from Toriyama's. Like
Toriyama.
I think the Dragon Ball and Z full color release is, I think, demonstrably worse than the black and white, just because Toriyama was such a master with black and white that like touching that at all like kind of ruins it, even though it's cool. It's neat that it exists.
Yeah, but that's so fascinating.
With Dragon Ball Super, Toyotaro does not have that level of expertise, and so when you slap a bunch of colors on it, it just makes it pop, and it makes it read that much better. Because Doug, there was so much muddy grayscale in this arc that you were just, like not like the Hidas alone, and you were just not going to have to deal with any of that.
Great.
Yeah. So chapter 67. And then, okay, Ken, go ahead.
Sorry. Like I said, I don't think you guys noticed this, but I actually edited the text a little bit in the version that you guys read so that on the first panel you read, there's a box and it says something like, so after Moro's defeat, some time passed or something like that. And I edited that so that it would read better because you have to remember this was mid-chapter and not just like from the page before it. So I just edited it a little bit, rewrote it so that it could read better as like the start of a chapter. But that's
and with
just
Moro's defeat,
that was
peace returned to the universe is what you edited.
Yeah. So it was just, and so peace returned to the universe or something. So I added that and with Moro's defeat. Yeah.
That's great.
So I just thought that was a little touch.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well done, Ken. I appreciate that.
So we really, we're diving straight into the timeline here. I have no idea how much time passes between.
Yeah, they don't say. I thought they were gonna.
No,
because definitely like more than a day, more than maybe a month.
You can glean. So we start off here. We're at Galactic Galactic Patrol headquarters or whatever, where they have the prisoners.
Azkaban.
Yeah, Galactic Azkaban. Yeah, thank you. We're here and we spend a little bit of time with Jaco and Calamus. Not Peter Calamus. And
that's all I could think about when I read his name. I was like, really? Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And I think this is the first time we've ever gotten his name. I don't think we got it in Moro. Like maybe we got it on one of those pages where it just showed you the characters' names, but I don't think we actually got it in the story.
Surprised even at that.
And they're talking to the prisoners. Jaco's just kind of like being jovial with them. And Misa, who was one of the girls who could like turn into the big one, and they fought Roshi for like 2 panels, even though I remember it being like a lot more than that. So she says to Jaco, it's been a while. And so I'm trying to think like, okay, if I haven't seen someone in a while, like at what point would I say that to someone? Like a week or 2 weeks or a couple months? So you kind of have to piece it together. The Caramel Mama crew, if they ever dive in and make this timeline, they're going to assign a number to that. And hopefully it's, half a year maybe.
Also depends if like it's sarcasm too. Like it's been a while. Like I just saw you yesterday or kind of thing. But I don't think it reads sarcasm. But I just want to throw in that option that it could have been that. But doubtful.
Calamus says that he's detected, or his crew has detected, a faint distress signal coming from Moro's crater. So like this is just like so perfect. It's like Frieza blending into Trunks and into the androids, right? It's just one story, direct cause going into the next one. Like consequences you didn't know were possible are moving in and driving this story and starting this story.
I don't think it's as strong. I love when stories do that, and I agree this is doing that, but I don't think it's as strong as say like a Trunks or Frieza to Trunks, because it's still using a character from before, like Psyche, he wasn't dead. I think just every time it's like Psyche, this character isn't dead, it's kind of like a lame kind of cop out, but it works for this story and it does get things moving, especially coming to the end where him being that thing being alive, 37 being alive, isn't the main bad thing. It's just like a prop to get to another story beat, another arc, I guess.
It's interesting that you say that because literally that's how the Frieza arc ends. Of like, psych, he's not dead, he's back.
Oh wait, you're right.
Using that as
I'm just
not as strong as this.
You know what? Daima is okay. Well, just kidding. I don't know what I'm saying.
Zhao Yogi, and I know you guys are like, what, these characters have names? Well, I had to look it up when I was writing this. So Zhao Yogi says that, I forget exactly, but he said maybe that was like 7-3 or something. And 7-3 he says that 7-3 was just another thing we stole. He was empty at first, but as time went on, we filled him with data and turned him into a powerhouse.
Did we know this before? I don't think we did, right?
So we knew that 7-3 could like copy abilities, right?
Right.
And store them. And so I don't think it's too much of a jump to say that he was like he was data and a computer android type.
I mean, I guess, but like being far removed from reading the Moro arc, being months since we've done that to then this and be like, wait, what? It's kind of like, it was intentionally, I think, kind of confusing. And then I read it again after I'd read these chapters. I'm like, oh my God, like this makes so much sense. And it's like, yes, they just stole him. Like he's a thing.
Yeah, and I think Jocko maybe said that he was an android in the Moro arc. I'm not entirely sure.
I want to say so. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they go to check in on 7-3, but Goichi's men meet him first. Get his head, put in a little rejuvenation tank, Doug.
Yeah, it looked funny because the first panel, it looks like he's a koala. Like I couldn't tell it was his head. If you look at the image, it looks like a koala. I'm not kidding. Put that image up. It's just a little adorable. But then it zooms in on his head. It's like, oh, it's definitely 7-3's head.
And so again, we get another vague amount of time passing. A few months later. So how far? Anyways, this is something that's going to bug only me.
It does time skip again after they get their cheese and they leave the planet. We skip it over the part where I've never related more to Jocko in my life, where he's cyber patrolling by going on auction sites looking for stuff. And it's like, yep, that's totally me on Bai, just checking things out. It's like, oh, what's there?
So you love Jocko even more now.
Even more now, yeah.
One of us.
He's like, hey, I got to get cheese while I'm on Earth because it's cheaper. I don't want to pay triple the price that I would here. So it's like, oh my God, I'm Jocko in that instance.
Then I have to make me put it in my pile of loot, and then I have to wait forever for them to ship it because all these other things need to come out.
It's right here.
So we meet the guy who created 7-3, or at least that's how I read this, and especially given all of the other OGs that are on his ship. I think he's the guy who made 7-3. He got 7-3 back, and now he's going to use this powered up 7-3 to rule the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Except for this guy named Granolah shows up.
All of a sudden, this Boba Fett guy comes.
Granolah.
I'd say much more Darth Vader-ish for how episode 4 starts, where they've all got the guys with the guns and shooting at the door.
And Rogue One as well, like that entrance with everyone just like, oh, it's so cool.
It's all Star Wars all the way down, everybody.
Granolah is communicating with someone named Oatmeal. And then Granolah just he makes quick work of everyone in the ship, and then all of these like other OGs start coming out, and they're like, that's not OG 73I, that's OG 72I, OG 1 we, OG 51, OG 20, OG 31. And then he finally finds OG 73I.
Yeah, which is a cool way. Like, I don't know if you saw the Easter eggs, all those numbers are my social security numbers. So just so you guys know if you need it. Yeah.
It's crazy because those are the numbers on the back of my credit card.
Oh, that too? Dude, same. But this is the first time we find out that 7-3 was like just a vessel of many other vessels, right? Like that's what I'm trying to get at from before. Like we knew he was like an android, but
I'm going to tell you right now, Doug, it doesn't really matter.
Well, no, I mean, but no, I'm just saying it's cool just in this, like just in the lore, that doesn't really matter that these are just like vessels, and this one out of all of them was like input data into his body and it became this super strong opponent that Moro then used. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Right. He wasn't the Hot-chan. And then it was, suddenly there's more of them. Like, we got 17,
like
18,
these
19.
all are potential like 7-3s. I'm not excited for that. I'm just saying like these all are like just the Captain America Winter Soldier thing where like there's many other Winter Soldiers, but they're killed off at the spoiler for Winter Soldier.
So I have a question, Ken, because for the longest time, I remember when I was reading this monthly that I was very confused about this oatmeal person. I was like, where are they? Where is this person that we're going to
For the whole chapters, I thought oatmeal was the goggles. I was like, it's alien quirk technology. Maybe it's just a goggle.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, can we definitively say, like, it's not another person? It's just a thing in the goggles, right?
I think we'll have to get to the end of the arc to figure that out.
Oh, dang. That's kind of a spoiler for me. I mean, I figured we figured out eventually, but the fact that you don't know still.
I mean, I just remember being confused, and I'm like, when are we ever going to see this dude in the chair? And I'm like, I don't think we ever did. So I think it's just his AI in the goggles. It just talks.
That's what I figured, but also it could be another person on the other side. I also picture a woman. I don't know if he ever gave it a pronoun, but I'm thinking like a Tony Stark, Veronica type thing.
Okay.
Veronica, one of the names? Friday. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't remember.
I'm sure Tony Stark's named one of them Veronica. Yeah. In the comics somewhere.
Now, chapter 68 begins. And Doug, right off the bat, we're in flashback territory. You can tell because everything's kind of like dark and purple.
Yeah.
And we see an Ozaru.
Hell yeah. Dude, not only do we see Ozaru, we see like just the planet in destruction, and just like you see people laying dead, and then you see the Frieza type spaceship and a bunch of aliens coming down, like after it's all been destructed, and then like all of a sudden transform. This gave me like Attack on Titan vibes, where like the people like fall down to the sky and then transform into Titans and everything like that. And because you only see 3 on screen. Well, I mean, obviously they couldn't draw 1 million Ozarus, but they showed like 20 humanoids come down and then 3 Ozaru like beast up. What if it was a mixture of like some Saiyans and some regular Frieza Force kind of thing, just like doing cleanup? Like regardless, it's a cool setup of like destruction and just real turmoil that we don't really get anywhere else. It wasn't played off as well. I don't think Toriyama even played off these kind of flashbacks that well as Toyotaro did.
It also really helps to recontextualize for this character Granolah that to him the Saiyans are horrifying.
I guess like that's it too. Race. We see it through his eyes too, right? Because we see him like running. We see a character running to a church and then like still like trying to hide, but then still Ozaru comes in and sticks his face in the hole and just like rah, like he has this big like for the sorry, that's just for the video viewers.
Ozaru figure. So. If we're going to play a game here throughout the Granolah arc of what's Toriyama and what's Toyotaro, right? Obviously, it's kind of a blend, but you want to talk about in the meetings, like maybe who pitched what. I would think that going back to the Ozarus, going back to really flashback, retcon, heavy air quotes on this, retcon territory. I mean, by definition of retroactive continuity, I guess. Yes, it is. But this feels Toriyama to me because I think Toyotaro might think that doing something going back to that period might feel too sacred to start touching. And so I think Toriyama's like, nah, it's okay. We'll show you stuff from the science.
You can have more of a handle on that kind of feeling, but my gut feeling is like that's a Toyotaro thing where like I don't think Toriyama likes doing flashbacks that much anyway. Like the lore kind of stuff, he likes like setting up stuff, but revisiting stuff is not really Toriyama's style, if I remember correctly.
Flashbacks happen. They are very rare, but there are a few in Dragon Ball.
Yeah. A lot of the good ones are filler, though, like the Trunks flashback to his timeline.
Yeah. Randy, what do you think?
That's good.
You guys make some good points. It's very hard to tell, because my initial gut reaction was like with Doug's, which was, this feels like it's a Toyotaro thing, because of the whole, like, flashbacks and, like, let's just show some dead bodies. Not a thing.
It's pretty simple too, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I also see it from Ken's point of view of just like, nah, we don't have to worry about the past being sacred. I made it. I can just do whatever I want. So like, who knows? Maybe it was Toyotaro's like, maybe we could do this, but like, maybe that's not such a great idea.
I mean, what are they really? I mean, for now, just these 3 pages of the flashback, they're not doing anything groundbreaking. It's just more Saiyans destroying more planets. We know they've been doing this forever. My question is, like, I remember they had talked about, like, okay, well, sending Kakarot to Earth, like, oh, yeah, he could take out that planet on his own. That's fine, even as a child. But, like, we have multiple Saiyans in Ozaru form who've gone to this planet. So it's like, how dangerous are the locals here? But then I think about Kanasa in the Bardock special, where they had, like, the 5 of them all there to take them out. Yeah.
But then that's not canon. So, like, whatever.
this chapter kind of already answers that for us, is that the Ceruleans can be a threat because they have that like red eye thing.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that.
That's true. But we don't know about that at this point, right? Because we haven't seen him use that, because that's not till later. So it's just at the beginning of this chapter, like, oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. And also,
got multiple
like I said earlier, the town is obliterated before the Saiyans. I mean, maybe Saiyans were there before, but this looks like a cleanup crew that came up after the planet's already been destroyed.
Interesting.
So Granola's dreaming about this, so he remembers the Saiyans, and he despises Frieza and the Saiyans. So he knew the Saiyans were working under Frieza. He was aware of all of that. And he still believes that Frieza's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you feel about that, Doug? Like reading this part, knowing that Frieza's back as of the end of the Tournament of Power.
No, my mind mixes Dragon Ball Super, the anime, and this. So I'm like, yeah, is he dead? Is he alive? I didn't know until the pirate guy was like, oh, yeah, he's alive, by the way. I was like, oh, he is? Okay.
I love this stuff because it feels like major world building in the best way of this. Frieza coming back is just like reverberating. The consequences of that are reverberating through this arc in like a whole way that Frieza's been back. He's wished back to the end of the Tournament of Power. We get like immediate consequences in Broly. We know he's avoiding the Moro thing entirely from that one chapter. He's like, I don't want to get involved with this.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But now in this arc is really one of the driving forces in it is Frieza is back, and he was involved in stuff that wasn't just terrorizing the Namekians, wasn't just enslaving the Saiyans, right? It was, there were other people he affected too, and other people that could hold a grudge, and then other people who aren't necessarily in the know of all these goings on at the multiversal level and everything. So it's just cool to kind of ground it a little bit and go back and have a character learn things that we've known for a long time at this point in his own way. I'm gassing up Toyotaro like crazy.
You
right
really
now.
are. It makes the world feel lived in when there are characters that, don't know everything as well. Like there are characters out there that don't know the whole thing that Frieza's back. Even though this character is like more determined. He must be so laser focused on just feeling bad for himself that he doesn't even realize that, the thing you wanted forever is alive. So you can kill him.
We get this great transition where they're talking about like these mindless beasts or something. He's like, you mean the Saiyans? And Granola's like, yes. And then it's Goku like, rah, like that.
I love that. Things like that make me wish this was anime form, just to hear Masako Nozawa do the grrr. And then for the fish to call him a barbarian. It's such, chef's kiss is so beautiful.
Yeah. So they have to catch the Oracle fish. It's not training like Bubbles or anything, but he just has to.
At first I thought.
Yeah, right. They just have to catch him because he needs to take his vitamins, and he's got insomnia, which is unfortunately a side of a bad omen. Something bad's going to happen. And not. Goku's like, oh, I thought it meant someone strong was going to come, and everyone's kind of like, oh, here's Goku. And even then, I'm thinking like, yeah, he's being a little waku right now, which is always like the worst version of Goku, but Earth is truly at peace right now. They took care of Moro. There are really, as far as they know, no active threats anymore. Yeah, they let Frieza go off somewhere. They know he's still out there, but right now they're like, I mean, we all can.
That's true.
Take him.
And that's the dynamic of a character like Goku and a character like Beerus, where like Goku went through all this crap, but he's not bothered by it. Like it's over. He got to fight someone fun. Whereas Beerus is like, no, you like made me go through. I don't want to do that all over again. So I can see the two different sides of those characters.
And I love the immediate like reference of how mad Beerus is about Goku like getting himself involved and then Beerus having to pay for it, because Beerus is still fresh on his mind about having to play with the Omni Kings.
Yeah.
It's so good. So good. And because Goku has no idea about any of that.
Oh, that's right. And so like, yeah, Whis is like, yeah, he's still mad. I'm sure he is.
Goku is honing Ultra Instinct with Whis. That's really what he's doing here now. So he's able to like trigger that silver hair form at will. And oh man, that panel where he clicks it on and his hair like goes flying up. It's so good. It's almost great. The hair in the Toyotaro Figure Arts Ultra Instinct Goku, the alternate hair piece. It's almost that hair like flying up.
The windswept kind of,
yeah. So good. So good. So good. So
looks good in color too.
I always feel like in these panels, it was like his hair was always in a slightly different position. So it's like he produces his own wind where his hair is just always in motion. That's how I pictured it as I'm reading it. I'm like, this is how they would animate it. Constantly.
Do we know what this form is? Because I'm sure you do, but I forget. Just like what is? Because I thought this was like a more calming and like let your body control itself kind of thing. Now it just feels like it's just another power up. It's just another Super Saiyan 5 that he just has a new transformation now because he's like his facial expressions are still like normal at this point.
So the way I would reason it is that he's been doing this for several months now, and he is fighting Whis, who Beerus tells us is always in the instinct state. So if you've got two people in that state, it's not going to appear as Goku's doing all his silly, super dodgy stuff because that's not how the other guy's fighting either. So it's going to appear more like a normal fight because they're both at the same level now.
Okay.
A lot of this arc, Doug, is about Ultra Instinct and what it is. And
I was hoping it was because I didn't want it to lose its flavor. Not that Super Saiyan 1 lost its flavor, but wasn't Super Saiyan 1 supposed to be like, oh, you're just enraged all the time? But then I guess the beauty of that and later in the Cell games is Goku like took that and made it his base. So he's like Super Saiyan but calm kind of thing. So I guess that's cool. So I hope they do something similar like that with Ultra Instinct. That'd be great.
It's about like, is it a form? Is it a technique? And again, you didn't read the manga version of the Tournament of Power, in which it's very explicitly a technique. Roshi's able to use a very base level of it. So we'll talk about this more as the arc goes on, but just know there's going to be a lot of answers and a lot more questions about Ultra Instinct.
I trust Toyotaro with this, so yeah, this is fun.
Goku's fighting Whis and there is training, and he's doing like astral projections of himself, which is like, is this a new advanced version of the giant key kaiju thing he made that he's able to do this?
Or just Shadow Clone Jutsu, or is it like Zanzo-ken all over again, but just better?
No, I was just gonna say it's like a Dragon Ball staple at this point because Goku's been doing this as a kid since he's a kid kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, those were different because Goku never left the air. In this one, he just like sent visions of himself downward and he just stayed up in the air.
Okay. And but it's like a Dragon Ball. Well, no, because I'm thinking of Piccolo does it. Like it's a trope, not just the technique of it, but just like fighting multiple of one character kind of thing and training.
Yeah. And apparently this is something Whis can do because Whis is like, don't copy me, come up with your own stuff. This is where Beerus says that angels are always in the instinct state. And then Whis tells Goku that like, hey, Ultra Instinct isn't your end game. It's your starting point.
Yeah.
He's like, that's so cool.
Marisu can use it. I can do it better than him. And the Grand Priest can do it better than me. So like, you still have so much room to grow, which to me insinuates that like, are we finally, if Super ever continues past the superhero arc, are we going to break that God barrier that's like still in place and we've never gone past these characters? Like people like to compare feats and stuff, but we have never truly broken that barrier of can any one of these characters beat Beerus? And are we heading for that point?
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's been 12 years since Beerus was introduced, where he's been the strongest dude that we know. So before, of course, Whis and then the Grand Priest, but you know, that Beerus is that ceiling.
Yeah.
Where do you go with the story after that, though? If you do have them reach that point,
you worry about it then.
I know that we had that Tournament of Power, but wasn't like Universe 1 and 12 were left out. So it's like, we don't know nothing about those guys. Go fight them.
They're all beyond godly.
I mean, eventually you have Goku and Vegeta go fight in a supernova. That's where you go.
that's the end game. Yeah.
Vegeta, not interested in Ultra Instinct, which I don't think this is the first time he said something like that. I think maybe in the anime he says something along that line. Mm-hmm. And Beerus says like, yo, dude, Ultra Instinct is not the only technique of the gods. Like that's what the angels do. Us gods of destruction, we're not calm-minded or anything like that.
You think I'm doing that?
Yeah, right. Beerus refuses to train Vegeta, though. But he's like, hey, I'm going to go faff about over here. And if you want to watch and steal something, hey, dog, you do you.
I had to reread that because the wording was like steal something. He's like stealing. Oh, not physically. Like steal his techniques. Like, he's actually gonna like train him. I was like, that's cool.
Is this like the rules for when Maris was using his abilities? Like, it's not against the rules because I'm doing it for training. I'm not actually doing it for combat. Where it's like, Beerus, you can't be training people. Like, I wasn't. He was just watching while I was doing stuff.
So this page where like this whole thing is happening, Beerus explaining to Vegeta, didn't excite me too much because I'm like, here's the as a reader of this in 2025 and not when this is coming out in the zeitgeist, I know about a particular form that Vegeta unlocks. So to me, like, okay, this is that. But then I stopped myself and was like, wait, imagine if this is my first time reading this and not knowing that, and I got really excited, like, oh my god, he's gonna like train him. Like that got me really giddy and excited to see that again. I wish I had seen it. I wish I didn't know about what's happening in the future just by living in the world of the world. But yeah.
I want to say around where these chapters had started, I think I did a fan art piece of Vegeta, but in the God of Destruction outfit to be like, he's going to be training to do that. That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool stuff. This is like, I don't know. This is still Goku. This is just like Toyotaro taking the Goku and Vegeta show, right? And really making something of it. And making it, if these are our two characters, then I'm going to give you everything I can with these two characters. And like, if it's about these two, then hell yeah, let's go. And we'll go all out.
And I feel like he really gets these two characters as well, because just in the first panel of Goku catching the Oracle fish, I got the sense of like, oh yes, this is the adult Goku, but with the fun side blended perfectly together. Like, I'm like, yes, we don't want that Daima Goku. We want like this Goku. This feels right.
So we go back to Granolah and Soshiru, and Soshiru just dropped off, I guess, a bounty or something.
Right. He got like 1/4.
He does. Yeah, he didn't get very much. Soshiru, oh my god. He's trying to take he wants to like jump onto this haul from Granolah.
What a jerkish thing to be like, hey, you want to tell him that we did it so we can split the prize? Like, for what? Like, I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's like, get your slimy hands away from my bounty. Like, all right.
So we're introduced here to the Hidas. Of course, the pun being kind of the opposite of like Frieza and his gang.
I didn't even what? I didn't even. It's like, obviously, like, what are you? I was so laser focused on the minions' names that I'm like, heaters. Well, I'll figure that out later.
So, Randy, could you real quick look up Maki's name pun? Because I don't remember that one. But
yeah, is that just like because there's gas and there's oil? So are they doing Maki like Mako Energy, Final Fantasy VII? Toyotaro's a big Final Fantasy VII geek.
It's everything that would have to do with like an oven or a grill or something. So you have electricity, gas, oil, in a frying pan or something. I don't remember Maki's. That's the journey I've sent Randy on to go discover.
Right. Well, it comes from firewood, Maki.
Okay. So. That checked out then.
Yeah.
So everything to do with fire. And what's your impression of these guys, Doug? The Hidas.
They gave me like pirate vibes. They gave me obviously BoJack vibes. But I do like that their spin is just like, no, we're not using this 37 for like power. We're using just his data. And like, then it gave me like Game of Thrones vibes where he's like, knowledge is power. Like, this thing has a lot of knowledge and we're going to use that. By the way, Frieza's back and he like reveals all that, but it's part of his plan to kind of kill off, Granolah because he's getting too strong, a la Frieza and the Saiyans.
So yeah, let's break that down a little bit. Well, first of all, they give him like the money rods, which are cool. There's like these little sticks of gold or whatever. Mm-hmm. I like reading into the relationship between Granolah and the Hidas, because Granolah drops this off, and then it feels like they have a close enough. They don't have. He can be a little informal with them, and he's like, "So what are you going to use that for, anyways?" Right? Like, there's a little bit of just discussion between them, and they don't. They're kind of like on the same level. Yeah, Granolah's doing these things for them, but he's not like working.
Obviously, like, entails that Granolah is a regular bounty hunter to them. Like, they see them all the time.
Right. Yeah. And then, Alex's like, hey, I'm not trying to build an army here. I just want the intel. And then so Granolah's like, okay, well, what's the next job? And Alex's like, dude, there's no jobs right now. The universe is being shaken up because Frieza's back. And then, Granolah poops his pants, and Alec's like, I don't know how it happened, dude. Don't ask me. I have no idea.
Yeah, I love that response. I don't know. He's just back.
Yeah. So good.
Somehow, Frieza has returned.
Yeah. Is this a thing that? Yeah. So do they know how Frieza died? Do they know I guess we'll get into the Dragon Balls later, but does Elec and all them, how much do people know about the Dragon Balls, about the ability to be wished back? Is it that strange for these characters? For Chaozu, right? To hear that Frieza got wished back. Yeah. He'd just be like, oh, someone used a Dragon Ball. This is a thing that happens. We know about this. But for Elec, right? How strange should that be for this character?
Well, for this character specifically, who's all about gaining intel, it wouldn't be too weird to somehow him find out that there are Dragon Balls and they can grant any wish, and maybe one is to revive. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's more than just Dragon Balls to revive a human in this entire huge galaxy. So who knows? It might be regular. Frieza came back.
Also curious then, Sin, how much do they know about what drives Granolah and everything like that? Clearly
he
they
said
know
he knows.
Okay. So then would it also extend to knowing that Frieza originally was taken out by science? So it's they're also still around. Would he also want to keep that information close to his chest? I don't want to tell this kid that those guys are around because they might be too dangerous, or well, then he's going to be too busy to do jobs for us. He's just going to be, tunnel visioned on I got to go fight those monkeys.
I feel with Granolah being shaken up by this, I feel he very Eren Yeager vibes, where he's very kiddish and immature, and just has that one goal. I need to kill these two that wronged me, and at any means possible.
Yeah, and he starts pushing a little too hard with Elec about wanting to know where Frieza is, and Gas just comes in and takes him out. Mm-hmm. And you're oh, damn, this little kid.
Yeah, the first time you see Granolah shaken up, caught off guard by someone,
mm-hmm.
and apparently this little guy is really strong.
Yeah, and Alec's dude, just you chill out. I'll come up with a plan. We'll get back to you.
That's so funny. It's take a breather. Dinner is best served cold. Just take a chill pill.
I think revenge is best served cold.
Granola's grumbling on his way out, and Alec's okay,
yeah,
we got to take this Granolah guy out, man.
Yeah.
So we just basically enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So let's try to find a way to sick Frieza on him, or have Granolah go after Frieza, and Frieza's just boom, kills him in one
But I
go.
wonder why they're worried about Granolah. He's doing work for them. Why does it matter that he's getting stronger? Doesn't seem like he's after world domination or anything like. It doesn't seem like they're a competitor to the Heaters.
They just don't want anyone that could ever be a threat to them, right? So like
Frieza with the Saiyans?
Frieza and the Saiyans, right? Exactly. Yeah, he was starting to get. Well, I mean, Minus is different, right? So in the show, or in the filler or whatever, it was Zarbon, right, who suggests it hey, these Saiyans might get out of line one day, and then that gets in Frieza's head, and then Frieza kills them. And then in the manga, in Minus, it said he heard about Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan God. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened there, and I'm not going to go reread Minus.
With Frieza, the Saiyans are basically slaves to Frieza, so of course, if they get stronger, they can rise up. But here, Granola's doing a job. He's being paid. It's not like he's a subservient to these guys. He's just hey, they're paying me for stuff that I'm already doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, but if he has a sense of justice and gets strong enough, and then one day finds what the Heaters are doing distasteful, right? Then he'll become a problem. They just want to avoid that.
See that.
Yeah, or just the fact that their business is kind of on shaky ground, because while Frieza was gone, they're oh man, we've moved in and it's going great. It's Frieza's back. Okay, now we're all a little worried.
Do you think that gives them more reason to side with Granolah? Actually, not just backstabby wise, but let's use Granolah to take out Frieza.
We'll find out how things go.
Yeah. And what's fun about this is I remember the big overarching plot of this arc. But as we're talking about this, I'm oh yeah, who does know what right now? And how are all the little things adding up? A lot of this I don't remember. So it's very exciting, even for me. This isn't my first time reading it, but a lot of things are the neurons are reconnecting on a lot of the story as we go. So what they want to use for 7-3 is to find Zuno, who's the ultimate intel broker. Do you remember who Zuno is, Doug?
Wasn't he like a big like fish creature that's with legs and everything? That Goku and Jocko and Bulma went to go see him once.
Just
right?
Jocko
he knows
and
everything.
Bulma, and then we see him again in Future Trunks arc because Zamasu is the one who went to him, found out about the Super Dragon Balls, and then used those to switch bodies. Right. And then the other one used them after Goku Black told him about him to become immortal. So we've seen Zuno twice in Super. I'm going to put an asterisk on that in case I'm forgetting about.
Does he have like a line of like clients that get to ask him like one question or whatever? Am I envisioning that right? Or
wasn't there like a frog guy in the Super anime who was coming to talk to him or something like that before Jocko and Bulma? Yeah, something like. Anyway, so I don't know. We'll have to find out where that goes because I honestly don't remember. So we'll see.
And also, like, that's so weird for them to be like, I want intel, but then, like, oh, I guess they don't know where Zuno is, so that's why they need to find him. Yeah, I don't know.
So it's going to take 2 days to get to Planet Cereal, but before that can happen, Soshiro intervenes and attacks, and Granolah just, like, wipes out his entire crew.
Low blow, Soshiro. Come on.
Takes his thing off, and he's got his red eye, and you hear Oatmeal saying, a Cerealian's right eye is especially adapted to sniping, and Granolah's abilities are cut above the rest. Prodigy. Can
we explain this? Because what everyone thinks, I guess, is that you need the Oatmeal to make a sniper shot. Like, that's what it kind of insinuated. How did you make that without your goggles or whatever?
I would assume it's just kind of intuiting the whole thing. It's like, okay, this guy's a sniper. He's got a goggle on his eye. Like, you probably want that to be able to see far away. So they're just kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. So then he takes it off. It's like, he can't do sniping.
But then why does he need it in the first place? Like, is it like a Spider-Man thing where it kind of fine tunes his vision because it's too powerful without it?
Or it's like a VATS thing where it's like 94% arm, 82% leg, fallout.
Maybe. But if his eye is better, well, I guess not better, just different. I don't know.
Granolah needs to get stronger so he can take on Frieza. Meanwhile, the Oracle Fish talking in its sleep. Universe 7, balance shifting, strongest warrior in the universe, will soon rise up. Yeah, and that brings us to a close. And somehow we have talked this long about 1 chapter and a half. So definitely made the right call. Only doing this little bit.
I pray for us in the future doing a whole volume then.
It's a lot of fighting. We'll be fine.
That's true.
Cool.
That's true.
I think this arc could be told as a movie.
Oh, really?
Because a lot of this is just fighting. Like, it's honestly, and that's why I think Toriyama's involvement, and we'll talk about this as we go, I think Toriyama's involvement kind of thins the plot a little bit. Like, if you look at Battle of the Gods or Resurrection F or Broly, plot-wise, really not a whole lot going on. And I think Granolah is at a certain level. I think you could tell this in a tight hour and a half.
I feel like, can't you say that about the Moro? From what I remember, the Moro arc could also be...
No. Moro, there's too much back and forth at different places, and I think that could be 2 movies.
Even that, you can cut that down. You just, like, you narrow going to all those planets into just like not a montage. Well, I guess a montage. I don't know, but...
I don't know. Moro, yeah, we'll talk about it as we go, but I think if there was... we'll compare as we go along. But, Doug, I'm so excited that you're excited where we're at right now.
Yeah. This is great. Like, and just Granolah's character design alone just enticed me. And like, he looks cool. He looks like a good designed character. I'm happy to, off the riff, get something good like that.
I didn't like the way the Hidas looked at first, but honestly, it's so... You guys, did you watch Arrested Development?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So when season 4 came out on Netflix, it was so different and so strange. And it just didn't feel like Arrested Development. Now, like 10 plus years removed from that, I am quoting season 4 of Arrested Development like all the time. Like, there are so many great lines in that season. And so it really became something that I look back on extremely fondly, and I feel that way about the Hita's designs. They're like the Arrested Development season 4, where like looking back on, I'm like, I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
I have to still go back and rewatch season 4 and do that re-edited one that they had done. So there's like 2 versions of season 4, and then I also season 5 I never watched. But
season 5 is terrible.
Not surprised.
I can see how the heaters can grow on you. Like BoJack doesn't have a copyright on pirate look, so it's just to get over that. And it's like, no, these are I like the way they're all kind of uniquely designed. The big guy, the short guy, the girl. Of course, it's just girl for now, but
girl.
Yeah, but I think they kind of like twisting it again, like classic Toriyama style, where the tiny guy is like super strong, and then the big guy is actually like super intelligent. I think he's like the digital, I'm gonna go analyze this real quick. Like I'm taking 73's body and analyzing it. Like, oh, maybe he's like actually smarter than he's not just a big dumb guy.
We're at the end, so that's great. So then we can take our little break here, and then we're gonna be right back because we got to hear what you guys had to say about this beginning to a new arc. So sit down or keep walking. Keep doing what you're doing. Either way, give it a minute, and we'll be right back. Hey there, welcome back to some more of We Got a Podcast, but we're not going to be talking so much here. Instead, we're going to be listening to what you guys had to say about these chapters for Granolah. As always, Ken is being the coolest dude and handling our Blue Sky posts, and he put out the call for thoughts and things like that.
Such a cool guy.
I know, right? We should really get him on the show sometime.
Nah.
He'll only last an episode.
Yeah, just one and done. One hit wonder. Ken... Why don't you read this first one here?
Yeah, Protopacket writes in and says, I think the introduction of the arc's titular player is engaging. I will say, in some ways he comes off a bit as a fanfic character, a bounty hunter with a jaded past, world traveling and fighting with such a unique style. Sniping? Then again, in some ways, that's what I want out of Toyotaro. Shrug emoji.
I can understand that struggle, but I mean, yeah, he's new. He's very not normal Dragon Ball character. Torture Pass. Well, Trunks had that.
Torture Pass, mysterious. Kind of like cool looking.
Instead of a sword, he's got a gun.
Yeah, I don't like the gun too much, but just his hair is awesome.
It's a stun gun because he's not killing these people.
Oh, that's right. His fingers are the real danger.
Ooh, Randy.
Yeah, no problem. So Pika fan here says the plot is interesting, but Granolah lacks overall charisma, and without it, is tiring to read about. Retconning the science in Frieza is creative, however. The story suffers from feeling reused, uncommitted, and afraid to move on to new lore. Modern Dragon Ball suffers from this. Still excited. I would disagree because I'm engaged. I love this.
But are we just like the teenagers who are just like into this guy because he's hot? And like that's all he has to offer. Like, oh my god, he's amazing. He has a sniper eye. I was like, okay,
he's got a special eye. What if we kissed? Like, okay,
what if though?
Interesting. Okay, so here's something to think about: Granolah versus Glorio. Why do we like Granolah and we don't like Glorio? Well, okay, asterisk on not liking Glorio. We've been over this, but I'm just saying. Oh
my god, it is the hot thing. I like the hair. He's just hot.
Oh, what is the difference here?
Design, man. It's design.
Well, I think it's
cool.
Granolah actually has a goal.
Clear.
Desires. Trauma.
Yeah.
We know that he wasn't just a Majin created.
There's immediately a backstory that you can obviously figure out what it's about. Yeah.
Yeah, you can empathize with him. You couldn't empathize with Gloria.
Yes. That too. Like after reading, I'm like, okay, this is I don't know if he's a villain or not, but he's someone you can empathize with. Like you see his side, even though he's like, come on, get over it. Even Oatmeal's like, get over it. He's like, no.
I'm not gonna though.
Yeah. You're right, but I'm not gonna.
Lady Zeon writes in and says, coming off the Moro arc, I was so hyped. And though I think the beginning drags with a lot of needless exposition, Granolah and the Heaters really excited me for where the story could be going. That excitement would bite me later, but that's for a future post. Something I didn't notice until rereading just now is all the temperature puns that Elec makes, saying things like cash to burn, getting fired up, playing with fire, being in hot water, and revenge is best served cold. It's a small detail, but I really like it.
Oh, what was the feel me part? He was like, you feel me? I was like, was that?
That's like because you can feel heat.
That's right. Nailed it.
You got it. So Jacob Sawyer says, I was excited as it started. I thought it was really cool going into the second arc of uncharted territory only in the manga. Thought Granolah looked like he could have come from Chrono Trigger or Dragon Quest. I mean, yeah, he's got like, you can tell the materials of like his outfit. You know, it's just got that textural feel to it. So
now that he mentions that, it also has like a Tapion kind of feel to him as well. Just the mysterious and
the cool
tortured
boy
soul. Yeah, the cool boy.
Gotta have those. I love them.
GGF, who we do know is reading this for the first time alongside Doug.
Yeah.
It's neat that they change arcs mid-chapter. Not sure I've ever seen that before. Side note, it did happen with Tournament of Power and Moro, where we just like totally skipped a 1-page spread or 2-page spread or something of Broly and went straight into Moro. Yeah.
Interesting.
7-3 is a decent way to connect the two, and giving Granolah some action scenes in his introduction is smart. It's a decent first impression with a striking design and his little finger guns, even if his character is a little generic, cool guy who wants revenge so far. Still, a day in the life of a space mercenary is pretty unique for Dragon Ball and makes a fun framing device for these chapters with no established cast involved. Yeah, that's another thing, is that, we don't see Goku and Vegeta for a while into this arc. Yeah.
The fact when you do see him, it's that much funnier that he starts off like grrr.
Yeah. Interesting to see.
It's very parallel to our most recent Tenchi episode, where our first one was like, we don't even see Tenchi and the girls for solid 8 minutes of that first episode. But
Tenchi podcast, catch that.
Yeah, watch those Tenchi episodes. Interested to see how the last piece of canon Dragon Ball media I haven't seen plays out. I will say that of the few things I've seen from this arc, I've thought most of them seemed bad. But I'll try to keep an open mind. Hopefully it's better in context.
Yeah, without context, I can definitely sympathize with that. But I'm really excited to see, like before, the space pirates, the heaters, I didn't give a rat's butt about. But now I'm like, I hope they have an integral part to manipulate the story somehow. I hope this isn't their only appearance. I hope they kind of affect Granolah more in a certain way. So yeah, I'm excited to see where they go.
Brandon.
And I'll take this one from Travo. He says, I do enjoy the 2 chapters giving us the full conclusion of the Moro arc and the introduction to Granolah, who design-wise looks like dude should be a character in Chrono Trigger, as well as the secondary villains, the heaters, as we began the Granolah. Everybody kind of pointing out, it's like, this guy has designed differently, which I think is cool, really sets him apart. And, yeah.
Before we dive into ruining Doug's day, Doug, what's your prediction for what's coming up?
I was like, what could possibly? I'm hoping I'm thinking long term, right? I'm hoping Granolah eventually realizes that Goku and Vegeta aren't the bad guy. I hope he doesn't become a bad guy himself. But then I guess that means we get too many cool guys, because what was the other guys? Mirrors. We got Mirrors. I hope we don't get another Mirrors, because it was cool for him to be that character here, but to have another one again where the antagonist becomes a protagonist, or I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just don't want that again.
So, because I think GGF is kind of on the same level of being exposed to Dragon Ball. They know a lot. You know a lot about what's happening. But I'm curious, Doug, how much exactly do you know about the Granolah arc?
Without spoiling it for the people that are reading along for the first time.
Yeah.
I know a lot of purple stuff.
Uh-huh.
And
you talk in vagaries. Yeah.
I know headbands that are red.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's about it. That actually is it. Yeah.
I think you know one more thing, but you forgot that you know it. But
I think you remember one thing, but you forgot it.
You're forgetting to vocalize it.
Yeah.
Because it's just so duh. But yeah.
Shiny and black.
I'm actually trying not to oh, that's this? Whoa.
Yeah.
Where else would it be?
I don't know how far. I don't know if this is the last arc that has existed. I'm still no idea what's going on.
I mean, so effectively, yes. This happens, and then it's superhero, and then we're waiting.
Ah.
So you're going to be caught up.
I thought Shiny Black was like after Superhero for some reason.
I think you're going to be very surprised, and you're going to have a good time.
Cool.
Especially for that, because I know I did. So thanks, everybody, for shooting back those responses there, but it wasn't in the form of a skeet, but we do have an email from listener Willis DeYoung.
Willis.
Who sent in an email saying, I think coming off Moro, this chapter and a half comes off as a strong start. I remember the first time reading this being a bit overwhelmed with the introduction of so many new characters and the galactic politics it was presenting, but this time around it didn't feel so overwhelming. I've also started reading Jocko for the first time, and the milk and cheese gag joke reference really makes sense now. The only complaint I have is Goku, while training, uses the word stoked. That didn't land right with me as a word Goku would have in his vocabulary. I look forward to looking over Granolah again with you guys over the next few weeks. Appreciate all the hard work. Willis.
I just wonder if that's like a translation that someone had to like, that's similar enough to what they...
That's Waku Waku.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Stoked. It took me aback for like a second, but yeah, it was fun.
I think the whole Jocko connection, having just read it, like, isn't there something where there's like a place called Mammal Market, and that was a place from Jocko? So yeah.
Was it? Oh my God, yeah.
Toyotaro, dude, you don't underestimate this guy. I think he's gonna go far.
The cheese thing was like a Vegeta thing too, right? Where Beerus is like, "There's this great thing, I forget what it's called." Vegeta's like, "It's cheese." Well, it's in the dub, but yeah, it's still like a cheese reference.
I'm getting the impression from people who've written in that yes, I think the Granolah arc has a lot of baggage. You know,
it must.
I think this, this more than Moro monthly was not the way to tell this story. And I have a good feeling, I'm not 100%, I think there's some people who are always going to be on drinking the haterade for Granolah no matter what. But I think as we go, I think we're going to turn people, and that rereading this arc is really a different experience than it was the first time around for us.
Yeah, I would agree. I just have a lot of memories of the discourse about each chapter is coming out specifically for like this arc, where everybody was always, well, first it would always be like the, leaked pages ahead, like the drafts, and like, oh, they're ruining this and they're screwing stuff up. And then we would get the whole thing like, oh, okay, you know what, in context, that makes sense. And I don't know why I was so angry. And then they did the same thing 28 days later.
That part of the fandom always deterred me from wanting to read this as it came out too. I'm like, I'm okay. I don't want to involve myself with this discourse. I'm just going to wait until it's all out to then eventually read it. I think that's come to my benefit now that I'm reading it all for the first time.
Yeah, it wasn't, election stuff, and it wasn't, the war going on in Ukraine that I was like, maybe I'll stop doing social media so much. I was like, man, all these people talking about Granolah. I'm like, I'm out. I'm not doing this no more. I'm too old for this.
Too old for this, Grandpa.
I do think there are some things that as we go in this arc, that it's going to be really hard to find the silver lining. There's one thing in particular, and we'll get to it when we get to it. And maybe we'll have a discussion that will find the light in what happened. And I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it to talk with you guys here. I'm also looking forward to, of course, ruining Doug's day by the trivia that Zenpai has provided for us.
Senpai.
So we've got 3 great questions here. Hands on your buzzers. And listeners out there, let us know how well you do on these questions. I love knowing how nerdy you are. And we're going to start right here. Question number 1. Where does the word granola come from?
Like, is this a trick question?
I know. Is that...
He's got some... I want to know... I don't just say, like, it's this thing. I want history.
Why is he going to Planet Cereal? Isn't that, like, related to granola in a breakfast kind of way?
Okay, so I'm going to say granola stems from the Latin form of the word for grain.
Ken is pretty close. So it was the proprietary name for a breakfast cereal registered in 1886 by Will Keith Kellogg and in use into the early 20th century. By 1967, it appears in American English, probably from the Italian grano.
What are we talking about? What?
Yeah. I got it, Doug. I got it right. You don't need to worry about it. Next question.
I just said granola. Is it not granola?
Yeah, but like I wanted more history. That's why I was like, I need more from this.
I ate some this morning. Is that history you want?
And
yeah, it's delicious. History.
Italian stems from Latin, so I'm basically correct.
I mean, if you rearrange the letters in Italian,
yeah,
you get Latin.
That's true. Some of them.
Give me the next
some remainder.
Darn,
hold you over.
Question.
All right, question number 2. In chapter 5 of the super manga, so this would have been the Beerus stuff, right? Because that was like a volume unto itself.
I think so.
Or was that only 4 volumes?
No, it was 4 chapters.
The chapters were
so
shorter that back then.
Yeah, we were just starting Universe 6.
Okay. In chapter 5 of the super manga, why are Goku and Vegeta wearing extremely heavy clothing?
I mean, they're training.
No.
It was like sumo wrestling. Wasn't it sumo wrestling?
I think that was a different thing.
For like someone's enjoyment or something?
It was as punishment for having used Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan in a training session where they were explicitly told not to. So,
okay.
From Champa, right? Champa made them or what?
No, it's before they meet Champa.
Really? Dude, I don't even know what's going on.
So, question number 3. In the future Trunks arc of the manga, sorry, Doug, Trunks does something to Beerus that he takes very seriously. What is it?
Oh, it's the Dragon Cart.
Beats him at Mario Kart? Was it that? That's what I was thinking.
He beats him at Dragon Ball Kart. Beerus is later seen practicing during the night, so he won't lose again.
Oh, wow. That's one I could have actually gotten. I didn't believe in myself. Dang it.
He's learning how to activate Brett mode, which if you want to know about Brett mode, there's a whole bunch of lore you're going to have to check out at the Kanzenshuu Mario Kart Nights.
It's real.
Most Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Brett is the senpai of Mario Kart Nights for me, if that gives you any correlation.
In that he haunts all of us, and we can't stop thinking about it. So that's that. Thank you, Zenpai, for those excellent questions. Thank you to Ken and Doug for being our wonderful players this episode, just like all the episodes, really. But, it's good times. And thank you, the listeners, for listening. We love interacting with you, keeping you in the conversation about our favorite franchise in the world. You can post at us on our Blue Sky. We're keeping it easy at WeGotAPodcast.com. I always forget that because, we shorten it up and all that other fun stuff. You can also email us at WeGotAPod@gmail.com.
And thank you to Rifti Beach for letting us use his track Kakarot Theme Hip Hop Track Remix. You can find that and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me at DetectiveX.bsky.social.
And Randy?
You can find me at Saberbreaker at WeGotAPodcast.com over on Blue Sky.
And you can find me at JabazDoug on Blue Sky, Twitter, TikTok, TikTok and Instagram.
I gotta tell you guys, it feels good to be reading the super manga again. It really does. We'll see how long it can hold. I'm glad we spaced out between Daima and this. This is like night and day from Daima, dudes. And I hope it stays that way for Doug, especially. We'll see. And then we'll see what the audience goes. I think Daima is going to become like an inescapable thing to talk about reviewing any Dragon Ball thing going forward. Because I think in many ways, we'll talk about Daima when the time comes. Because I don't want to distract you from liking, commenting, or subscribing to this channel. And letting those kids on the playground know and having them go home to tell their moms about the podcast so that they're listening as well. And as always, we will catch you matinator.
Bye.
Bye.
Sit down.